Okay, so the Lakers signed Christian Wood, which means there's something to talk about in September. I mean, we all get it with Christian Wood. He can get buckets, right? He can roll and he can pop. And he's also a good enough ball handler to where if he's got a driving lane, he can take it himself. And he can also score over smaller guys in the post. If you find yourself in a possession, 5 seconds left on the shot clock, nothing's happening, he can bail you out of something there if you get it to him on like a face-up scenario or whatever. And we saw him have some decent point totals for Dallas, and I imagine this Laker team, look, he can screen for LeBron, Austin Reeves, D'Lo, Gabe Vincent, and he should be able to give him scoring just off of those simple sets, right? And, I mean, if the defense switches, like he's good enough around the basket to where if he's, posting up on a smaller guy, he can convert some of those for you as well. He can certainly be a piece of an offense, and he can be effective. He can space the floor out for guys. And, there's some questions about, like, lineups now. My guess is that he will come off the bench. If I'm wrong on that one, my bad. And okay, he gives you a scoring big when AD is not in the game. That's cool. The question is, how often will he play with AD? I'm going to assume Darvin Ham's going to try that out in certain lineups, right? And look, Christian Wood can shoot. I mean, the past few years, basically 5 threes a game on good percentages. And so if AD is in the post, if AD is screening for any of the Laker ball handlers, or LeBron is going mismatch hunting or whatever, Christian Wood, you can put him in the corner. He's got spacing value there and that good stuff. He can be in the dunker spot as well. Again, he can score as a big. We all get this. But of course, with Christian Wood, the big questions come from the other side of the floor and as well as his passing. Because, look, the dude likes to shoot, and he's not exactly an assist guy. We'll just put it like that. I mean, for his career, he has slightly more turnovers than he does assists. And defensively, he's also not that great, right? Now, within that, I think he has moments where he can be, like, serviceable enough for you. And that's the big question, right? Because with how good this Laker defense projects to be, what you're hoping for out of Christian Wood is just the best that you possibly can be. Now, when you think about it, like, if he's the one big guy out there, as in AD is not in the game, then sure, you can have, like, Vanderbilt, who's just a good defender all around, as a help guy or whatever. LeBron's a good help defender. Gabe Vincent's going to be tough on the ball and all that. The question becomes more so, do you want Vanderbilt, or not Vanderbilt, do you want Christian Wood dropping back on screens? Do you want him higher up on screens? He's got to find something that he's going to do decently enough for you, just game plan-wise on defense. And obviously that'll depend a little bit on the team you're facing, but that's a question you're going to have. Whereas with AD, it's whatever you're deciding on doing between dropping back or higher on screens. Like, AD can do everything on defense, as we know. Now, as far as if we see Christian Wood and AD out there together, I mean, AD's existence, and depending on whether you want him guarding the center or you want him guarding more of like a 4 and then he can be a help guy, again, AD's just, he's so versatile and just good defensively that his existence alone can be enough to make up for other guys. And I mean, we'll see. I think for the Lakers' sake, this is a low risk move that definitely gives them more juice on offense. And I mean, cool. In some ways, it's the same feeling you had when Dallas traded like a bunch of non-essential players for Christian Wood. It was like, well, it's definitely going to help him on offense, and we'll see how it goes the other way. And, well, of course, Jason Kidd, he kept Christian Wood to 25 minutes a game, and there was definitely some pushback from Dallas fans, and then I think there was pushback from some Dallas fans to the other Dallas fans being like, well, he's not that great on defense and as a passer. And so, I don't know, maybe we're going to do that same song and dance with the Lakers, but I think it's safe to say that this Laker team defensively, assuming that they carry over what they were doing in the playoffs, and I mean, yeah, I think it's fair to believe they will, can cover for Christian Wood on that side of the floor, and okay, cool. I mean, that's where really what you're asking for with him. As far as the contract, it's a 1+1, so his second year is a player option. And so for Christian Wood, I mean, he can view this as a, prove it to the rest of the league that I'm worth more than what I got here, which was like $3 million a season pretty much. And so yeah, it's kind of all I got for you. Jackson Hayes is still on the roster, and of course, his best days were more so as like a 4 next to Valanciunas. Those days didn't last super duper long, but they did happen nonetheless, allowing him to like cut and go for offensive rebounds a little more. I think it's safe to say Christian Wood will be ahead of Jackson Hayes in the rotation. And also shout out to Rui and Taurean Prince, who are not centers, but I don't know, I mentioned everybody else on the roster, so I'll shout out to them.